Had to turn off the AC to shoot the video, and now I'm gonna be shining. Hey, y'all. My name is Amber Wallen. I'm a full-time content creator, comedian, host, dog mama, plant mama, human mama. I'm also in love with a gentleman named Benjamin Wallen. Anywho, welcome back to another episode of The Creator Closet, a series where I basically act as your social media big sister. So let's jump right into today's lesson. Today, I'm teaching you how to plan your content using a content calendar. Content calendars are very important. If you don't put it on the calendar, it's not real. My content calendar is pretty robust. It's pretty aggressive. I promise y'all, I'm going to show you my content calendar. Think about how you do things at your job. If your job was like, why don't everybody just meet in the conference room whenever they want? No, we gotta put this on a time schedule and put this on the calendar. And you should be taking your social media and planning of your content just as seriously as you take your job, so that social media maybe one day can be your full-time job. This video is going to help full-time creators and part-time creators. So let's get started with our first lesson, your verticals. If you were here for the last episode, verticals are these hyper-focused niche interests that you really want to showcase on your page. So before you put anything on your calendar, you got to figure out what your verticals are. I would highly recommend right now, pick out 5 things that you already do and that you do well, that you enjoy doing. Don't try to be somebody else on social media. Nobody can be you exactly like you. I would also recommend the more specific, the better. If you're into knitting, if you're into gardening, if you're into anime, if you have a really great vintage record collection, whatever it is that you do and do well, I want you to pick 5 of those things. Let me tell you what some of my verticals are. I would say some of the verticals that make up who I am are fitness, Get Ready With Me's comedy, comedic characters, family, so that could be stuff with me and Ben, or just lifestyle stuff in general, me bopping around the house and doing those kind of things. So those are the 5 things that make up me that I really, really, really want showcased in my content. Have you picked out your 5 things that represent you? Do you travel a lot? Do you eat out at a lot of restaurants? Lifestyle can be tricky, right? Because I sometimes categorize lifestyle as things I do inside of the house, cleaning up, decluttering things. And then lifestyle outside of the house could also mean travel and things like that. Get really specific as you pick out 5 verticals. Bonus, if these 5 verticals could also potentially be tied to a brand, okay? So maybe you're doing a video of a lifestyle video in the house. So on how you clean your teeth. It can be something very innocuous. You could tag Colgate. You could tag, what's a floss company? Reach. You can tag, everybody's doing Quip electronic toothbrushes right now. So think about what are the 5 fingers that represent you, and then what is a brand that can be attached to all 5 fingers. So pick out those 5 verticals right now, and let's get to the next point. What I want you to do now that you've picked out your 5 verticals, and now that you've also thought about 5 brands that you can tie to those 5 verticals. Now put that to the side. I want you to think about how consistently you are realistically able to post, because this is going to help us create your posting cadence. I'm going to break this down based on part-time creators and full-time creators. Really think right now in your mind, how often could I post something? It could be just a picture on Instagram. It could be a carousel, a collection of pictures, or it can be a true reel, maybe a 60-second one versus a 90-second one. Think about what you have the capacity to post. You got that in your mind? Now that you have that number in your mind, as your big sister, I'm going to recommend, if you're a part-time creator, that means you do create something, but you have a full-time job. If you are a part-time creator, I would recommend that you should post 3 times a week across 3 different platforms. 3 and 3. Combo situation. So let's say you post a video on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you post those videos on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, or TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat. Pick 3 apps that you really love and make sure you're posting 3 times a week. If you are a full-time creator, hold my hand. I need you posting daily in some capacity. Now you can think to yourself, I'm gonna have weekends off, and you can post in different ways, right? You're a big Instagram story girl. I love posting to my Instagram story every single day. But if you are trying to do this full time, monetize everything you're doing, I'm gonna need to see a post from you Monday through Friday. Does that mean every day you gotta get up with all the excitement? No, sometimes you can record some stuff and save it in your drafts, and that day that you're not feeling motivated, what's on the content calendar for today, then you'll post it. full-time creators, I would love to see you posting 5 times a week across 3 to 5 different platforms. So think about that as like 5 and 5. So me, for example, you should see some piece of content from me every single day, and you will find all of my content on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and now Snapchat. Those are my big 5. I'm posting something on those 5 apps every single day. And we will have another talk later about the apps that I use to post across all 5 of those apps, because it can be a lot. But I would recommend that you post on 3 to 5 platforms if you are a full-time creator or you are aspiring to be a full-time creator. Now let's talk about what happens when our verticals meet our post cadence. Let's put them all together, and I'm gonna have y'all look at my content calendar. There's one more thing I want you to consider when you're thinking about how often you're posting. My content calendar is coming, I promise. I want you to think about 2 big things. In addition to your verticals and your post cadence, I want you to think about what is actually going on in your life that could be made into content. What are some upcoming events? So sometimes when I have a comedy show, I make sure I say to myself, okay, let me record myself writing jokes at the coffee shop, practicing those jokes with my family or some other audience, and then let me show how it looked on stage if I know that's coming up. I have a big hike coming up, for example. Maybe by the time this comes out, we'll be past it or whatever, but I have a big hike coming up. So now every time I post fitness content, I'm gonna be feeding and engaging people, reminding them that I have that hike coming up, so that then they're invested in, well, let's keep watching for her fitness posts to inspire us to do fitness. And also let's keep watching because we wanna be here for the big hike. Or maybe you got a baby coming up. Maybe you're graduating soon. Big countdowns, or maybe you're doing a 30 days without alcohol. If there's something happening in your life, that is amazing for content. People want to invest in that journey with you because that's them investing in you. Another thing you need to consider, besides what events are actually coming up and actually happening in your life, is you need to consider your analytics. When you're a new creator, you're just starting out, you're experimenting, you're trying some things, but if people really loved something that you did, make it a series, run it back. If people loved a character that you did, I better see that character in your content calendar. If something went super viral, don't make an exact copy of it, but use elements of that in the next video. Now, let me show y'all my content calendar. My goal as a full-time content creator is to post 2 videos a day. I know that sounds like a lot, but like I said, this is my full-time job. My goal is to post 2 videos a day. And these videos in some capacity should speak back to those verticals that I had. I'm gonna leave this on this calendar because you can read this. I'm not gonna break this down. So for example, one time I did this toddler series where I was like, here are the grievances that my toddler has filed this week. People loved it. So now I have incorporated that to be a part of my content calendar. Sometimes I don't get to hit it every single week. I'm not perfect, but for the most part, you should expect something toddler related from me because toddler stuff is very relatable, whether while it's on camera or not. Obstacles as a parent should be showcased on my calendar in some capacity, probably at the top of every single week. I go to events a lot, whether it's dressing up for a comedy show of mine or just going to influencer events. There should be always something beauty related on my calendar. I currently work out with my trainer 2 to 3 times a week. So there should be at least 2 fitness posts for me every single week. Now, one fitness post might be like weights and working out, but the other fitness post might be more so nutrition and things like that. Like I said, this is not an exact science every single week, but there are days, as you can imagine, where I wake up and I just do not feel motivated to create anything. Those are the days where I'm like, okay, let me see what I was supposed to post today. Let me look on my content calendar and see what I was supposed to do. Let's call back to your analytics for a second. Let's say, for example, you are showcasing or making a video about something you really love to do. I really love fitness, but sometimes my fitness videos don't always hit, for example. There is a way that you can do a fitness video, but change some of the elements and see if people like that better. Here's a great example. I recently did a video of myself doing fitness because it's leading up to this big hike that I told y'all about. But then I was like, you know what, Ben? My fitness, Ben is my husband, if you didn't know that. you know what, Ben? My fitness videos ain't been hitting like I want them to. Why don't, just for today, you try to do the voiceover for the fitness video? I'm not going to give you a script. I'm not going to write it. Why don't you just look at this video and you talk and it'll just be a video of me? So that's the element where you're like, I can change one piece of this and just see how that does. Feel free to experiment. And here are 2 comments right here about people liking the voiceovers. And also now somebody is invested in seeing the hike. So they're going to keep watching my page to see what happens with the hike. I cannot stress enough. If your audience loves something, run it back. Don't try to switch everything up. If people loved what you did the first time, find a way to recreate it. Same outfit, same whatever. We watch cartoon characters in the same outfit for years. How long has The Simpsons been on the air? For years. We don't need a new top. We don't need a new dress. We love Marge's hair. So take a note from your favorite cartoon characters. Switch up a couple of things, write a new script, sure, write a new episode, sure, but keep the same outfit. You never know how people will respond. This is my last plea for y'all to make a content calendar. Hear me when I say this. When you make a content calendar, when you take your content seriously, it helps you keep your eyes on the prize. You don't lose focus at all. So even if there's like hot gossip or drama happening on the internet, of course, it is totally fun to comment and talk about some of those things. Maybe one day on your calendar can be dedicated to talking about hot topics, or we got an election coming up. Maybe that one day is a great day to talk about voter registration. But for the most part, if you make your own content and stay in that, you do not lose focus when trolls try to come in your comment section, when other people try to drag you into drama. There's no way. I'm sure y'all have seen some examples where people have tried to bait me into drama or troll me and my family about certain things. And I'm like, oh, you don't understand. I'm not going to be commenting on any of this nonsense because I have to stick to my content calendar. This is the business. Social media is your digital business card. Everything that you put on social media, for the most part, you should be able to stand by. You should be able to back up. A content calendar keeps you focused on what's important. And I promise you, when you take it that seriously, nothing is going to sway you. One time I used to follow this girl who used to do locks on her page. Really cute girl. Always doing lock tutorials and lock styles. Of course, people were in the comments talking about something, that's unprofessional, it looks ungroomed, how do y'all even clean that? And she got to a point where she was responding to so many of those negative comments, like user 5678, I have time today. She started responding to so many of those comments that I stopped following her because she stopped showing us the lock tutorials. Now all of her content was just her responding to trolls, and that's not why I'm there. Why is your primary audience even there? They're there for you. They're there for your family. They're there for your comedy. You don't have time to respond to people that don't matter. Trolls bring you engagement. It's somebody probably gonna troll this page right now based on what I'm wearing, based on how I'm speaking. I'm predicting it right now. But you keep your eyes on the prize. There will always be somebody that doesn't like my get ready with me outfit, doesn't agree with my parenting style, doesn't agree with my relationship with my husband. And it doesn't bother me because I have a content calendar. I know what my goals are as a comedian.
Like we do, find out tonight.
That's all that matters. So this is my biggest plea as your social media big sister to go work on your content calendar. I would love to see what kind of calendar y'all come up with. If you have any questions about content calendars, please drop them here in the YouTube section. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Please like, subscribe, share this video, y'all. I'm so close to hitting 100K subs on YouTube. I really feel like I'm gonna get my plaque soon. I feel y'all rooting for me as I get that YouTube plaque soon. I've been working really hard I've had a YouTube channel for 3 going on 4 years now. The way that I get motivation to do this series is your suggestions. So we did an Instagram makeover. Please check out that last video. This video was about making your content calendar, and the next video is about whatever you drop in the comments. I love y'all so much, and I will see y'all for the next video. Send this to somebody who can use my help. All right, bye y'all.